Food prices on the rise. We check in on the environment. And you want to lose weight? Postpone a snack. For February 29th, 2012, this is Food News Today. Good morning. Food News Today is sponsored by ConAgra Foods, who shares with me the desire to provide the most current, interesting, and unbiased food news. Today, well, it's National Surf and Turf Day. It's a food holiday set aside for leap year, February 29th. The good news is it happens only once every 4 years. The U.S. Department of Agriculture released its agricultural projections through the year 2021. These baseline projections offer a glimpse into what is likely to happen to the prices that we pay at the supermarket. After a year or more of harsh weather conditions, which drove up prices due to late plantings and damaged crops, the forecast might well bring relief at the supermarket checkout. Weather permitting, of course. Last year, according to the USDA, there were 7 million acres of corn, soybeans, and wheat that went unplanted. They expect those acres to be planted this year. The forecast for the corn supply may well have the most impact on our pocketbooks. The projection is 94 million acres of corn will be planted this spring. That's the most planted since 1944, and will put corn stocks next summer at double the amount this year. The supply and price of corn has a dramatic effect on just about all foodstuffs. USDA predicts that the price will drop to $5 per bushel versus this year's average bushel price of $6.20. Corn is used for everything, from livestock feed, sweeteners, packaging, and of course, ethanol. And many blame the short supply over the past couple of years as fueling the dramatic increases we've all weathered. That's the good news. Here's the bad. USDA predicts that there will be a decline in poultry supply this year, which certainly means prices will rise. The supply of beef will also decline for the next 2 years. Yep, that's more price increases on the way. But in 2017, we should see a record level of supply, and prices 5 years from now, hopefully will then fall. But there's one other variable. Just how much beef and poultry will we eat as prices rise? Between 2004 and 2007, our combined per capita consumption of these two foods peaked at just over 221 pounds. USDA predicts that in 2013, that number will fall to 198 pounds and then begin to grow again slowly. So what can we do? Take a look at some of my tips to save on the Shopping Smart infographic. I see people using less animal proteins to fill their plates and consuming more vegetables and grains, which, by the way, is just what the dietary guidelines recommend. So perhaps the outcome is that we not only save money, but also eat healthier. For more about what the price predictions might mean for you, just click to the info link on my left or visit supermarketguru.com and use the keywords baseline forecast. Up next, our environmental correspondent, Rebecca Fisher. Rebecca, what do you have for us this week?
Well, Phil, on Friday, February 17th, EPA finalized its reanalysis of key issues related to dioxin toxicity. This document provides hazard identification and dose response information on various chemicals and the most up-to-date analysis of non-cancer health effects from dioxin exposure. Dioxins refers to a group of chemical toxins, compounds, and byproducts released from air through the combustion of industrial sources. These chemicals are slow to break down and have been shown to cause numerous health effects, including cancer. Additionally, the EPA report confirmed previous studies stating that people should consume less than 1/trillionth of 1 gram of dioxin per body weight per day. The EPA report also stated that the largest source of dioxin exposure for most people is food, but neither the FDA nor the Department of Agriculture has plans to enact any new dioxin regulations on food, agency officials say. One thing you can do to limit your exposure to dioxins is avoid foods with a high content of animal fats, which is where these chemicals tend to concentrate.
Thanks, Rebecca. Wondering how to snack healthy and avoid the cravings for candy, chips, greasy foods, and anything else that you might be trying to avoid? Well, there's a new study from Portugal that found that if you postpone the snack craving for an indefinite amount of time, your desire for that food decreases, and you may even eat less of that food over time. Several studies were conducted by Nicole Mead, PhD, an assistant professor at Católica Lisbon School of Business and Economics in Portugal. Mead believes, and I quote, that when a craving hits, people often think they have two choices, giving in or resisting, leaving you feeling either guilty or deprived, and you might overindulge later on. She feels there's a third option, which will also help you eat less of the food over time. Postpone the snack and tell yourself you can have it later. Why does this work? Well, the researchers believe that postponing gives the mind a cooling off period, as well as taking you out of feeling either guilty or deprived. Keep in mind that postponing a snack has to be nonspecific. Say to yourself, I'll have that candy later if I want it. Not all snacking is bad, and planning ahead can be very helpful if you know you might fall into that 3 o'clock slump. What's my favorite healthy snack? 1 or 2 ounces of cheese with apples or whole grain crackers, or almond butter on sliced apples, or celery, or sunflower nuts. Keep me full and happy until dinner. Remember, log on to foodnewstoday.com anytime to access the archives and replay this episode as well as all others. Thanks for watching.